Michael.
And we are a close-knit family. Today is Sunday, December 16th, 2018, and this is our episode 36.
We are a knitcast from Armstrong in the North Okanagan region of British Columbia, Canada, following my adventures as a knitter who has begun knitting in the last year.
Okay. And my ongoing yarn and knitting, and Mike's yarn and knitting addiction, because you've really fallen into this.
Yeah.
I was actually sitting, Mike just, this is going to come up. He's probably going to say something about it later, but he's blocking some of his Christmas presents right now. And I went in and I saw them sitting there and I got a little teary because I was like, oh, my boy made those.
Oh.
I was very proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyway.
Alrighty, the sky's above Armstrong.
There's a little hint of the stink coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been around to notice that.
We stepped, even last night, Dad and I stepped out to go up to the games night. And it was like, yeah, little stinky.
Well, we warmed up again. And
it's wet.
It's raining now.
Yeah.
Which is not nice.
So yeah, that's, but anyway, and if you want to hear, I don't know what episode we originally talked about the stink in.
Gosh,
something in like May?
Yeah, probably.
May or June?
Yeah.
I think it probably even has a title that says something about the stink.
Oh, probably.
Anyway.
Or maybe, I think one of our episodes is even named The Skies Above Armstrong.
Is it?
I think so.
Cool.
I think we were talking more about the smoke then.
Yeah, but it's the stink is the issue. Yep. And I'm sure that if you continue to follow us, you'll hear more about the stink in the springtime.
Absolutely.
Woohoo! Okay, so our sock along
is almost done.
It's almost done.
It's December 25th is the last day. That is less than 10 days away.
Yeah. So from July 15th until December 25th, any socks that, we say adult socks, but we really aren't the sock police.
Yeah.
Any socks that you've knit, you can enter on our Ravelry thread for the sock along finished objects. Our Ravelry group is Close Knit Family. You can go to groups, you find Close Knit Family, and then you'll find a thread for our sock along. Yep. So any socks you can enter for that. And if you were inclined to make a donation of socks or a hat or mitts or anything at this time of year, people are out there, they're cold, they need some help. You can enter your socks twice, because there's socks and then they were donated. Yep. And you can enter your mittens or hats as well. Yeah. And we have some yarn prizes that are coming, and of course Cool Cam stitch markers.
Absolutely.
Everyone wants Cool Cam stitch markers. Made especially for you by
Cool Cam.
Cool Cam.
Oh, am I gonna have to bring back the photo?
No.
Okay.
Gosh, no. And for more on that, some episode around the middle of August.
Yeah.
We talked about Cool Cam.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Alrighty.
What else is going on? So I was finishing up sort of my Christmas shopping and stuff this last week. I had no idea how hard it would be. Guess, spoiler alert, anyway, to find a nose hair trimmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what's with that?
I don't know.
So a nose hair, ear hair trimmer. Somebody I know needs one. And
gee, I wonder who that is.
Yeah. Well, it's not you.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, thank God for that, or we wouldn't be sitting here.
Oh.
But yeah, so hard to find that particular item. I was super surprised by it. Yeah. And another thing that happened this last week is we finally got our pool table out of our house.
Yeah,
So we moved into this place 6-7 years ago.
Gosh, yeah.
And
grade 10 was 2013, 2012. So 2012.
anyway, so at the time, both of my kids were in their last years of high school. And we had a room and a space that would fit a pool table, and I thought, yeah, let's get a pool table, because pool tables are so much fun, and you get people over and they come over and they play pool, and you know, it's just a good thing. I think that pool table has been used a total of maybe 4 times.
Oh, more than that, but not much more than that.
And absolutely forced. And it basically took up an entire room.
And we didn't even really have, we had barely enough room for it.
Yeah.
And not really room to just, you know, sit around and hang out.
Nothing else to do. It's a pool table.
Yeah.
Now, I used it. Tons for cutting out fabric and for costuming and all sorts of stuff. It was a nice big workspace.
Yes.
But never really used as a pool table. So we ended up donating it to the local high school. I guess they're going to have some sort of like a grad lounge.
Yeah, well, yeah, it sounds like they have a lounge in the school now for the grads, where they have TV, a Wii, a coffee machine, an air hockey table, and now our pool table.
Okay. So we got it out of our house, which is like, yeah, we're very happy about that. But the funniest part of it was the very next night, Mike has a big group of people over for a game to play games.
To play Dungeons and Dragons downstairs.
And they had one of our other tables they got put out, and they had lots of room, and it worked really, really well.
It really did. It really did.
We had that stupid pool table all this time, and now...
When all we needed was just a nice big space to have a nice big table.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was kind of a fail.
Yeah.
But it's gone now, and yay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Christmas... What?
Okay, barfed.
Yes, Christmas is barfed in our house today.
Christmas barfed in our house today. And we'll be doing a, you know, like a vlog thing.
Yeah.
A shorty, you know, here's us doing Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming. We might, I don't know. Nah, that'll be coming.
Yeah.
And I also recorded today some, more sort of like advice about reading knitting.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to just say, this is how you read knitting. It's more, these are the things you want to look for. And, yeah. So anyway, I did three little snippets. Yeah, we're probably going to have to chop those up even.
Okay.
But anyway, so those will be coming too. Yeah. I'm not sure what they'll be called when they come, but that's what they'll be.
Advice to read your knitting.
Yeah, advice on how to read your knitting. Or it might just be how to read your knitting. They're very, very beginner level because honestly, like, that's where it starts.
Yep.
It's very basic stuff you need to know to be able to read your knitting.
Well, that's kind of what we started this podcast, was with the beginner in mind.
With the beginner in mind, and what kind of questions come up and come along, and the reading the knitting just keeps coming back. And even yesterday at the library, someone was commenting that they go merrily along and they find they know they've made a mistake, and they try to fix it, and then it turns into a complete disaster. And then when they finally get to someone who understands
what happened,
maybe a bit better than them, about how to fix these things, it's such a mess. It's irretrievable. We've all been there. Yeah. And anyway, and she just said, so now she knows if she sees something and it just doesn't look right, she just stops. And then she has to wait for somebody, the next time that she's going to be with somebody who who can help her, right?
Yeah, that's not necessarily a good way to go about things.
No, you need to be self-sufficient. So, hopefully those little things will help with that.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
So, yarn acquisitions. We need little crickets.
This has been yarn acquisitions.
This has been yarn acquisitions. As hard as it might be to believe, yeah, we didn't bring in any new yarn this week. I almost did.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Well, our local yarn shop has an entire wall of yarn that's 40% off.
Oh, yeah.
And they have some good yarns in there. And they have yarns that I've been eyeballing. So I went in to look because I need a sweater's quantity for that, my next cable sweater that I want to make.
Okay.
Excuse me. But they didn't have the color. Well, there was colors I liked, but they didn't have sweater quantities.
Right.
But to be getting it at almost half price, you know, hard to pass that up.
Yeah.
So anyway, so those were almost yarn acquisitions.
Almost yarn acquisitions. Yeah.
All right. And
ready.
Faux finished object.
I have a faux. It is not what you think it is. Because I've been working hard on those socks, and the socks are still not done. But I realized on playing D&D the other night, the person who these socks are for is in that D&D group. So I can't be working on them at the same time. So I was like, well, I have this dice bag pattern that I've been meaning to knit for a while. So I knit and finished over the course of the week this really neat dice bag with sort of a, zigzag pattern. It's made from the Noro Korean yarn?
Okay.
I don't know. I still need to make an I-cord for it, and there's a couple other things I need to do. But yeah, it's called the Sea Anemone Dice Bag.
It's super cool because to me it looks like a trumpet flower.
Yeah.
And then the bottom is this kind of...
It's a seed stitch.
Yeah. And it's more of a square kind of a shape.
Yep.
Oh, it's not even a square. Oh,
Nope.
Yes, it is.
Well, sort of. I mean, yeah, it's a square, but then the actual...
And look at the colors.
Yeah, I love the Noro yarn. And I still have half a ball of that yarn left over, so I'll probably make another one.
Yeah.
Just for hexies.
It's very, very nice, and I love the shape of it.
It needs to be blocked, but yeah. And I have finally got around to blocking the other socks that I made, and the other dice bag that I made for one of my friends, which I've talked about previously. That was right around Knit City time, so go back to September-ish, and yeah, that's my faux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't have a faux.
Nope.
I thought I might, but it didn't get that far. So that moves us on to
Whips.
Works in progress. So let's see what comes out of my handy dandy bag here. Okay, so this is a cast on and a work in progress. Or had I started working on this last week?
I think you had started working on it, and you were lamenting.
I ripped it out because it was too small.
Oh, I think you're dropping stitches.
Oh yeah, it's okay. I know how to read my knitting. Okay, so this is a hat pattern that I am really. Oh, look how nicely that shows up.
I blame the lights.
Wow, that looks amazing. Okay.
It actually looks a little bit more clear than it does.
It does.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Who knows? Maybe that's just our monitor. But anyway.
So this is a hat that I am knitting for someone. Did I even say last week?
I don't think so.
I don't know if this person is knitworthy or not, because I barely know this person, but they're going to be with us for Christmas, and I needed a gift for them. Sorry, I'm just reading my knitting here and fixing something. So I thought, well, you know, I have some scrap yarn. It's only time. And I just really like these sort of tree kind of motifs.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of making my own thing up in between the trees because it goes on to some other weird triangle-y stuff, and I just want the trees to come up and that's it. But I'm copying the tree pattern from a pattern, it's called the Little Fair Isle Hat by Pearl Soho.
Okay.
Something like that.
I'll take your word for that.
Yeah. So, what have I got here? It's a 14 stitch repeat in the color section. And so I had cast on 100 stitches on, I don't even know what size these needles are. I went up a needle size. These are, there we go. These are 5 millimeters, so that's a US 8. So I had 100 stitches for 1x1 rib, and then I had to add, I did the math, and at first I did it wrong, so that's why I'm kind of going, what did I do? Anyway, I added more stitches to get up so that I had...
You had the 14
stitch repeat was covered. And so yeah, there's that. And again, I'm doing stranded work, which I'm still trying to get the hang of. And I'm doing it two-handed. So where you hold one in one in the other.
When she first told me she was knitting two-handed, I was like, as opposed to...
Yeah, but I think it looks pretty good because, yeah, when you can see that pattern like that, that's a pretty good sign. So, it's going pretty well. But you know what? We all hear these terms, and I actually had to explain this to someone again the other day, or try to. So here's my little color work. What's the difference between some of these names that we hear? So stranded work is pretty straightforward. It's got these floats.
The strands, if you will.
Yeah, behind. And the trick with stranded work is to get your floats so they're not too tight and not too loose. Like right down here. I don't know if you can see, but they're a little bit, see how it's puckering a little bit in here? Probably hard to see on the camera, but anyway, so those strands are a little bit too tight. So that's stranded. And then there's intarsia. And intarsia is when you never have a float. You never carry a yarn behind. And every time you change color, and I have to admit I did cheat a little bit when I did this, but every time you change color, you have to start a new ball of yarn. So usually what you end up with is, what do you call them? Little bobbins of yarn. And let me just try to give you, but okay, if you can see, there aren't floats going across. So technically, between this side and this side of the brown, I would have started a new ball of yarn on this side. I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I floated those little guys. I'm looking for places where it is a bit clearer what I'm talking about. Well, it might be clearer on this side. Huh.
I don't know, man.
Oh, there's a good one. Okay. So, this is one leaf here. This, right? It comes up here, comes down, and it goes over, and it comes down here. But where this little tip of the neck sleeve comes down. I don't bring these yarns across here, across the back. I stop using the one color. I twist those two together, and then I start using the next color, and then I start a new ball of yarn and carry on in that color. So there'd be 2 balls of yarn in that purple. And if we look on the other side, you can see that that's not carried across the bottom or across there. It's actually 2 different balls of yarn. Anyway, so that's Intarsia. This, when I was knitting it, I had probably 40 bobbins of yarn.
Yeah, you did.
On every row.
You did.
It was ridiculous.
It was.
But it was a labor of love. Yep. So that's Stranded and Intarsia. And then there's the Salish, which is similar to Stranded in that you carry the yarn across the back, except if you look at it, you can see that there are no floats. Mm-hmm. Every stitch is twisted. So you have no long floats of yarn. You can still make it, like, you can still pull them too tight and end up with puckering, but it's a really smooth fabric. Mm-hmm. On the other side. And honestly, it's my preferred way to do it, but I also have to admit I'm really enjoying this 2-finger stuff.
That's good.
That I'm doing.
That's good.
So yeah, that's a little bit. So if you hear these terms, what's Stranded color work, what's Intarsia.
Yep.
Intarsia is usually used for something that, like if there's like just a motif in the middle of something, rather than carrying the yarn back and forth or whatever. And it works best on something that's knit flat. Mm-hmm. Intarsia in the round can be done, but it's definitely a special technique.
I don't know. Yeah, and when you called that thing Intarsia, I thought it referred to like some specific fashion style of that kind of color.
No.
Collection fade.
No.
Okay.
It's a style of color work.
Okay.
And yeah, so there's that. So do you want to look at your next work in progress?
Yes. My socks that I couldn't work on while I was playing D&D. I'm still working up the heel or up the leg. I'm not sure.
Doesn't have a lot more to go.
No,
though.
do not have a lot more to go. So. Gosh, I can't remember where I was last week. I should really get my progress keepers in on these. But yeah, yep. That's my whip.
And then you'll be putting your ribbing around the top.
Yep.
And don't do your cast off without me.
Okay.
Because the last one was a little bit too loose.
Yes.
So we need to just try and find the happy medium on that. Yeah, no, those are looking great.
Yeah.
Really, really proud of your work on those. And I must have been working on this last week too.
Yes, you were. Yes.
So this was the shawl that started off. It was supposed to be I was going to use the Cozy Up Knits
Triple
Treat shawl, which is designed as a one skein wonder for fingering weight yarn, and I love it. One of the things I like the most about it is that it really does showcase a beautiful yarn. And I have these 2 DK weight yarns from Allison Barnes, and I really wanted to showcase particularly this colorway, which is called Autumn Splendor. And it's just gorgeous.
It is.
So I started making the Triple Treat shawl, and then as I was going along, I was like, oh, this would be better if I... This would work better for me if I...
Yeah.
And since this is a 2-color shawl, this is a better way to handle that. So I ripped it out and I started again, and I'm doing my own thing. But I am writing it down, and we'll see when it gets finished if it's something that's worth sharing with other people.
Woohoo!
But one of the things that I did specifically add to this shawl that's different from the Triple Treat shawl is I did put a small I-cord down the edge. Okay, so do you see that? It's a nice finished I-cord edge. Now the advantage to that with a 2-color shawl is that I'm not cutting my yarn when I change colors. I'm actually just running the other yarn up, and it's inside this I-cord.
Oh.
And so now, for instance, since I've done a couple of rows in that red again, the variegated color is just getting now tucked in and hidden inside. And it's just a question of it just sort of happens naturally. Doesn't require any special, anything special to make it happen. I also wanted a shawl that was longer than deep point. So I started out in a typical triangle, and then I changed it up a little bit to give it more length without giving it more triangle V. And this is actually the first time I've had it on a long cord like this. It's been on a much shorter one, and I didn't really appreciate just how much that flattened it out.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing. It's what I kind of wanted to happen. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes from here. So that's just sort of coming out of my brain. So this I'm knitting on. So there isn't a pattern to follow at this point except the notes that I'm making. It's on a 4.5. It's DK weight. This is Alison Barnes Cashmere DK base. And this came from her FiberFix box that she was kind enough to send us. And don't forget, we have a discount code, or at least Alison Barnes has provided a discount code for 20% off. If you want to get some yarn from her.
Yep, until January 31st.
Until January 31st.
2019. Close Knit 20.
Close Knit 20. And we do have that listed on in our Ravelry group.
We
as
do.
Well.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's whips.
Yep.
And so now, Mike.
Hi.
What do you bring to the table?
Another one I haven't played yet.
Surprised you this time, didn't I? No. Okay. Never mind. I was just like, as soon as I go, Mike! What do you bring to the table? You know, it's like, it's the same thing every time.
It's another one I haven't played yet, but I do hope to play. It's another sort of big, heavy game, if the box has any indication of just how big and heavy it is. It is the game that I first saw this on a website, and I just looked at the box art and was like, I need to play that.
Just because of the artwork.
Yeah,
nice.
It is called Wasteland Express Delivery Service. This is
you talk about it.
This is a game of mail. This game, another alternate title for this game would be Mad Max's Mailing Mayhem. Yeah, it's the post-apocalypse, and people need their food, water, and munitions, and you will supply that to them for the right price, while avoiding raiders and other players. And your goal is just to complete 3 first-class priority contracts. And yeah, this game has like a whole world built around it. There are multiple factions in the world. If you play in one of the scenarios, there's a dude who you go up against who's literally half a car. I can't remember what his name is, but it's really awesome. Anyway, And yeah, there's a sort of weird, it's, the rules are simple. There's a lot going on behind them. There, you know, everything is kept track. You have actions that you can do in a round, and it's kept track of with little things on a player board in front of you that you shift around and say, you know, okay, on this turn I do that, and then I move that over there so I can do that. Move all those over there. And, yeah, I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I'm really looking forward to playing it. It is for between 2 and 5 players. Takes between 90 and 120 minutes to play for ages 13 plus. Yeah!
Cool. That sounds like fun.
I certainly hope it is.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I bring to the table.
Mad Max and mail.
Mad Max Mailing Mayhem.
That's neat.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat. I was just sort of, I'm sorry, I was sitting here playing. That was a terrible thing for me to do. But I was looking at as we've discussed in the past, I am a nail tech. That's what I do to make money so I can buy yarn.
Yes.
And we're sitting at my nail desk.
Yes. You are where she normally sits.
This is where my client would sit.
Yes.
And so I've got some Christmas decorations on the table here. And I was just sort of thinking, what would be a good way to show you guys? But you don't, well, here. Aren't these cute, my little nesting snowmen?
They are cute. They nest.
So, yeah, I've got my little nesting snowman. And my little funny looking tree.
Yep.
Just to, yeah, give a little holiday flavor. And I was supposed to do my nails today. I am booked solid this week for nails. So actually it's probably a good thing because these will get trashed when I'm working on everyone else's nails this week. And then I can do something nice.
Yeah.
At the end of the week. So that's okay.
Yes.
Speaking of next week.
Uh-oh.
Mike and I are not sure what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
If we're going to record or not.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we might just do some little sort of mini, sort of more like the Vlogmas kind of things.
Yep.
So we may or may not have regular episodes over the next couple of weeks.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just, we're not sure.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go back to regular episodes before or during the new year.
Yeah, at some point we'll pick it up again. And,
yeah.
But just, I mean, there's no reason, I don't know how busy you're going to be next week. And yeah, whatever. Anyway, one thing that I'm looking forward, I'm going to be casting on my Fintry shawl pretty soon.
Ooh. Ooh.
And crossing fingers, maybe by the time we meet again, I will have made the adjustments to that balance by Kim Hargreaves.
Oh, yeah.
And have that finished up. I had a terrible night last night. I could not sleep.
Oh, no.
Well, I made the mistake. Like, I don't do caffeine ever in the afternoon. I have a cup of coffee in the morning. And then, even if I'm having tea, I make sure it's decaf if it's in the evening. So we went to this games night last night. And it was my turn to be the sober driver. I drank 3 Coca-Colas.
What'd you do that for? Mom.
So instead of drinking wine and having a really good sleep...
You drank 3 Coca-Colas.
I drank 3 Coca-Colas. I was awake until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Dang.
But as I was lying there, too tired to really get up and do anything, but also not sleeping, I was thinking, if I just get up, I can start unpicking that and get it started. And so I've got to get her done now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to review, the Hanukkah party.
Yes.
I promised you, well, I didn't promise. I said I might try to get some footage and do a thing from the Hanukkah party.
And you did get some footage.
And I did.
And
I had my hand over top of the mic the whole time. So there's little bits. So Mike and I might try to find a a snippet to put in here or towards the end or whatever, just of and we'll try and we'll add that onto our stuff, our Christmas tree trip today.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do a little bit of Hanukkah and our Christmas tree and Christmas barf in the house, and we'll put that out as a separate little thing.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of short and sweet.
Yeah.
But I don't.
It happens.
Yeah, we don't have a lot to talk about.
Yep.
I think Dad I heard you say he downloaded It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
So we might be watching that soon.
Yep. Because I had the revelation today that I've never actually seen the entirety of It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, I'm sure I have, but not all in one sitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I go through that a few times too. It's like there's certain scenes I remember very clearly, and then I'm like, have I ever seen the whole thing?
Yeah.
Anyway, I totally forgot. Okay, so here's something that came up. I
have a new tablet.
Well, I have a new tablet. And so if you recall me showing you pictures on my tablet before, you'll notice this one isn't spider-webbed with broken glass. And boy, it works really well too.
It does.
Quite exciting.
You can actually watch videos on Instagram.
Well, this is the thing, right? Okay, Instagram. I go on Instagram, and anything that had like a video, like Instagram stories and stuff, if somebody had a little video in their Instagram story, my whole tablet shut down. So I was like, why do people do this? Why do people put these little videos in if nobody can watch them, and if it's just going to kill people's hardware?
Yep. That was your tablet, Mom.
That would be...
That's a you problem.
That would be a me problem. So I was very excited when I went and could watch. Everything's playing and it's not stopping. It was very exciting. Anyway, the point behind what got started there wasn't that I got a new tablet.
Anyway.
Which I did. It's actually a Christmas present.
Yes.
But my tablet was in such bad shape. So we're going to put a bow on it and put it under the Christmas tree. But what I did do is I bought and downloaded this book, Knitting with Gradients. And there's a light. There we go. Mm-hmm. There was one, it's actually a Norwegian book. And there was one pattern in here that I really wanted. It's by Ellie of Skeyndir. And I'm just going to go to it first. And Ellie had said that it was only going to be available in this book. I mean, it's a book. Like, it's like many, many pages long.
I'm seeing a 96-page count.
Okay. So, this sweater is a sweater that I really, really, really wanted to knit. And it's designed by Ellie of Skeyndir. It is called Nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just... And for some reason, when Ellie was talking about it, and she said, yeah, the only way to get it is in this book, and I don't even know how or where, but my head decided that it was going to cost me somewhere in the neighborhood of $80. Now, keeping in mind, on Ravelry, patterns are usually like $5, $6, $7, $8. Mm-hmm. So, you know, $80, and I just wanted one pattern didn't make a lot of sense to me. What I didn't realize was that you could do the digital download thing. And I found the page where it shows sort of pictures of the things that were in it. And again, I couldn't see them really clearly, but there was enough there that interested me that I thought, what the hell? I'm gonna get the book. And so the whole book ended up costing me about $25. But it's got tons of patterns that I would totally like to use. So again, this is beautiful. Mm-hmm. That nice sort of lace detail up around the top. That one's called the Berginia. Bergina dress. So these are all Norwegian patterns. And then this one's called Falling Lace. So I guess what I'm trying to show here is that sometimes, okay, and this is the Radiance sweater, and pretty much all of these so far are items that I might be interested in knitting. And oh, there, that's a better picture. And what I'm trying to say is, like, sometimes just, it might be just one pattern that you want, and maybe the book, you're thinking, I'm not going to buy a whole book. The color block shawl, it's gorgeous! And then the color block scarf. And so these are all working with gradients. And in here, there's actually like they've got lists of like manufacturers and now this one, oh, I should have got the name of it, sorry. But I don't know if you can see that little diamond pattern.
Oh yeah.
In there in that cardigan. It's lovely. That's the Fjord kimono. And I mean, there's tons of stuff in here that I would absolutely knit. Hip striped sweater. So I'm just saying, look at the sort of that, what's the word I want? Shell-ish effect to that. That's the coral shawl. And then Morocco blouse. Mike's starting to huff and puff. He wants me to be done.
Yeah.
These are all beautiful. And working with gradients, and gradients are the big thing now. Here's this inside out skirt. How much fun is that? Don't always... Okay, and I knocked it, so we'll stop there. Anyway, don't give up on the, oh, it's only available in a book. And I don't want to, you know, pay whatever, like $25 for the book or the magazine, and it's just one pattern. Have a look at it. And if there's more things in there that you might be interested in, it's probably worth it.
Yeah.
So we should probably wrap it up.
Yep.
And,
so yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow our Instagram, and join our Ravelry. All that information is in the description and on the end card.
Thing.
Yep. And
keep your knitting close and your family closer.
Bye.
And Merry Christmas if we don't see you.